Hey Jürgen, 3 games to go, 2 wins in the title. Are you ready for this?
More than ready. It's yours to lose now. Stick to what's worked all season. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, easier said than done. Any advice to keep the players calm?
One game at a time. Focus, work hard, and enjoy it. The pressure's on them, not you.
Alright, time to finish the job.
Exactly. Bring it home. I'll have the beers chilled and ready.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 23 of Red Bull KloppBot here on Sean Does FM in Japan with Omiya Ardija. I hope you're doing well and coming up today. Gonna try and finish off our second season here of this save and hopefully do it by lifting a J1 title alongside the League Cup that we did pick up in yesterday's episode. We've got 3 games left. If we pick up 2 wins, that will secure us the title. So if you're looking forward to that, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on as well, all that good stuff. But today, played those last 2 games. You can see there over in the top right corner, 3-1 win over Jubilo Awada from down in J2 in the League Cup final, backed up with a 3-1 win over the Kashim Relentless in the J1, which was a very good result considering all the teams just in behind us on the J1 table. They did drop points. So if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. It does mean if we pick up a win in this game we're about to play against Gamba Osaka, that would take us on the verge of picking up the J1 title with still 2 games left in the season. And considering tricky games those ones against the Yokohama F Mariners as well as a derby to finish things off against the Urawa Red Diamonds, this would be a pretty nice game to win to hopefully put us on the verge. Obviously, not much has happened off the back of that second game that we did play in today's episode, even though it has been 2 weeks because we haven't played any football off the back of that. But we do have a couple of injuries that we're dealing with. One obvious one, considering it did happen in that second game today. Veli Kanade, a torn thigh muscle. He's gone for the rest of the season, but thankfully, as I said yesterday, got Pal Fernandez, who can slot straight into the starting lineup in his place. But Kanade is gone for the rest of the season. And also Tomoya Yokoyama. This one happened off the back of yesterday's episode, I believe. I think this was a training injury, a fractured wrist. He's out for 11 days to 3 weeks. I say out. We could use him if we really wanted to, but with Jun having done quite well for us recently in that J-League Cup, I think we'll just use him off the bench instead of Yokoyama. But if we need to, we can put him on the bench instead. So a couple of injuries, but thankfully got the squad depth, which will hopefully get us through and see us home lifting the J1 League title. And first up, we take on Gamba Osaka, a team who held us to a draw away from home earlier this season. They're down in 11th though, so if this one being at home, you'd hope this is a game that we can win. Their recent form was pretty average up until a win over JF United Chiba. Their captain, Shota Fukuoka, is a centre-back. He looks quite decent there with 4 stars current ability, and potential vice-captain Ryo Takao, a right-back come centre-back, also quite decent with 3.5 star rating. And their key player is another Japanese one, Ingenta Miura, who is a centre-back come defensive midfielder with that 4.5 star current ability and potential. But to be fair, nothing too special looking in that team. We'll be able to say that this guy has got 12 caps for the national team, so might be underselling him just a little bit, but these guys down 11, so hopefully this is a game that we can win at home to get ourselves on the verge of that J1 title win. Also, better check in on the other games on this match day. Let's just go over and see who the other big teams are taking on. We've got going over to the Sunday, because it looks like at the moment no big teams playing until that day. Vispa Fukuoka still in the hunt. They take on Vissel Kobe. They really do need to win that game. Kawasaki Frontale take on Squirrels Osaka. You'd imagine they'd win that one. And our derby rivals, Urawa, they take on Consadole. So to be fair, all games the other teams, 2nd to 4th, should be picking up wins. And so hopefully we can do the same against the team down in 11th and put ourselves on the verge of lifting that J1 title. And here are the team sheets of the first of potentially 3 games in today's episode. We come into this one in some very good form. Matsumoto comes back at centre-back, but obviously we've got Fernandez there at left-back with that injury to Kanade. And the other change to our regular best 11, not too sure if it counts, but Tagawa's still in goal. Higashi is fit, but yeah, we're not starting him off the back of what he did at the start of this week. A 4-3-3 there for Gamba Osaka. Hopefully can pick up a win, and that would mean just need 1 from our last 2 games. And we have to wait a little while for the first highlight of this game. 20 minutes in here, it's a free kick which Lee Hyunju will take from a fair way out. Let's see what he does. Takes it short and Dimas plays that one forward to Omiya, who bundles it home into the bottom left corner. Just wait and see though if he stayed on side a little bit there of a clunky short free kick, but these are super OP in FM24 and it works. So a good start for us here. We take a 1-0 lead. Dimas there just does enough to find Yamada with that slightly sketchy pass, but thankfully it comes off and Yamada puts that one away into the bottom left corner. Here's the offside lines. He's right on the shoulder there of the defender. Some good work from Yamada there to get in a good position to put that one away and give us a 1-0 lead. And bang on 10 minutes off back of that opening goal, now another set piece for us here at corner, which we go far post from Saito there looking for the top left corner. Unfortunately, that one goes just high and wide, definitely on the front foot, and 1-0 in front. And just making our way here into 2 minutes of added time in the first half. It's been pretty quiet, just those two highlights you saw both set pieces. Thankfully, made the most there with that short free kick, which Yamada did put away. We're actually going to take him off here though at half time because he's picked up a yellow card quite late there in the first half, so Yokotomo can come on for him. But apart from that, pretty happy with how everyone else out there is getting on. 1-0 in front, 3 points, which as I said earlier, will take us right on the verge of that J1 title. And it doesn't take long at all here for the first highlight of the second half. Just 5 minutes in, it's a free kick. We play that one short and try and float a ball there far post. Unfortunately, keeper punches that one clear, but we get it back to Fernandez there. We'll find Yokotomo. Lovely ball, that one for Lee Hyun-ju, who puts it away in the bottom left corner. That makes it 2-0. There's our cushion goal nice and early in the second half. So hopefully going to pick up 3 points on this match day. We'll see what happens the day after this, but I dare say won't change too much in terms of the table with the teams those ones around us are taking on, because they weren't very good, but thankfully it looks like we're going to get the job done, fingers crossed, with a 2-0 lead. And going forward to the hour mark here, I think we're going to make a sub. Matsumoto, of course, just coming back from a pretty serious injury, so we'll play things safe with him. Tanabe can come on with a half hour left. Apart from that, though, still pretty happy with how everyone else out there is doing with that 2-0 lead. And in fact, only a few minutes on from that sub, now there's a free kick here for the away team in Gamba Osaka. Let's see if they can do something really for the first time in this game so far. All the highlights in our favour, but good work there from Fernandez. Did just stand there and intercept that pass, which to be fair was a little bit speculative there from Gamba Osaka. And we get the ball back here and steadily make our way into the half, albeit I say that, and it goes all the way back there to Millard corner for Decido. He finds Lee Hyun-ju, Kinoshita, and we eventually get that one forward to Muzu, who goes looking for the top right corner, but unfortunately that one comes off the woodwork. 25 minutes left, still 2 goals in front. And just about to make our way into the last 15 minutes of this game, and have just actually noticed that Kinoshita's having a bit of a shocker out there on a 6-point free. So while we've got a relatively comfortable lead, Jun can come off the bench, our young youth intake striker from last season, as I said earlier, been doing a pretty good job for us in the League Cup. Hopefully they'll continue here in the J1 as we're still at 2-0 in front. And going forward about 10 minutes of that previous sub, now it's time for us here to make our last couple. We've got Saito down to red, Hatsashimoto can come on in defensive midfield. And our last sub, couple of options here, we've got Nishikubo or Suzuki. So I think what we might do here is take off Figueiredo for Nishikubo. He's a little bit more injury prone just in general compared to someone like Pau Fernandez. So those will be our last couple of subs with our final stoppage here as we make our way into the last 5 minutes of this game. And all of a sudden, some highlights might start, because so far, this game's been pretty quiet, but to be fair, we don't mind that, having a 2-0 lead, but we're on the attack again here. Muzu on the ball, loose touch though, but somehow we get that one forward to Lee Hyun-ju, who puts it away. Somehow Jun there might even pick up the assist. It just looked like there a bunch of pretty average decisions there from the Gamba Osaka defence, which you make the most of. Hara there gets a touch on it, and then just everyone ignores it, apart from Lee Hyun-ju, who puts that one past Yamura. He gets himself on a hat-trick late, so that definitely wraps up the 3 points here. 3-0 with only 2 minutes left. Now we've got a late set piece here, a corner, which we try and play into the mixer. Yokotomo goes down. We are going to have to wait, though, for the referee to run over to the little screen. So hopefully this penalty won't get overturned. Otherwise, kind of wasted my time here late on in this game. But hopefully this will be a chance here for probably Lee Hyun-ju to complete a hat-trick from the spot, and thankfully not wasting our time. The penalty does get awarded, so a chance here for our South Korean central attacking midfielder to complete his hat-trick. That is an absolutely dreadful penalty, but we'll just let that one slide, considering we're already 3-0 in front. Not like he's cost us a game like Higashi did right at the start of this week, but a bit of a bummer that one to end that game on, but thankfully doesn't cost us at all. We still pick up a 3-0 win, just robs him of a hat-trick chance. He really should have completed that one. Should have Lee Hyun-ju, but there's a bit of a shocker there from the spot, but 3 points. So it does mean our gap on top that extends out now to 7 points. So if those teams drop points the day after, not expecting it, but if they do, there's a chance we might already have secured the J1 title. We'll come back if anything big happens on the Sunday. Otherwise, come back and get ready for the Yokohama F Marinos, a chance for us to wrap up the J1 title. So a very good win to start off today's episode, and that does put us right on the verge now of picking up the J1 title. One more winner will secure it. Wouldn't have mattered what happened in those other games, but as we expected, they all picked up wins. Avispa Fukuoka 1-0 over Vissel Kobe, Kawasaki Frontale 5-1 over Soleizo Osaka, and Consadole, they hammer Urawa 3-0. So to be fair, not much changing off the back of that match day there. So with 2 to go, we just need 3 more points to secure the title. And to be fair, even 2 draws probably get the job done, considering our goal differential is ridiculously superior. So really, we just need 2 more points to wrap up the title. Hopefully, don't bottle things from here, because we are playing teams quite low on the table, especially the final match day. But hopefully, it won't get that far, because it could be a bit trickier than it looks with that game being a derby. But next up, we take on the Yokohama F Marinos. Let's just go over and see what's happening so far on this day. Albrecht Nagata, they're beating Kashima, but to be fair, that doesn't impact us too much. FC Tokyo, they take on Kawasaki Frontale, and that's away from home. So quite similar games for us and Kawasaki. So this could be an interesting game coming up here on the Saturday and also on the Sunday. We've got just checking Consadole away at Vissel Kobe. You probably expect them to get the job done there. And same with Avispa Fukuoka away at Nagoya Grampus. So really, the team who could drop points on this match week might be Kawasaki. But to be fair, if we pick up a win, it doesn't matter. We took on Yokohama F Marinos earlier in the season and picked up a win, but that one was at home this time. We're going away to Yokohama, but these guys come into this one off the back of some pretty mixed form, including losses to JF United Chiba and Nagoya Grampus. So to be fair, that's not too good a form before they take on the league leaders. Hopefully, we can get the job done here and make sure that last game of the season, the derby, doesn't have anything riding on it. The same injury concerns we had going in to that previous game, albeit Matsumoto, unfortunately, has gone back onto a heavy workload. So Tanabe will come in to the starting lineup for him, but this is our first time going away to Yokohama. So just in case the KloppBot does yeet us out of Saitama off the back of a J1 title win, fingers crossed that we get the job done. We'll sneak in the KloppBot's hotspots for Yokohama. So here's what the KloppBot's found here in Yokohama before hopefully we wrap up the J1 title here with a game in hand. It's only an hour away from Saitama, so definitely don't need accommodation. We'll just get there early, and to start things off, it's going to be some team building activities with Invite Japan. This does sound like it's a little bit of an ad here from the KloppBot. We're going to engage in customized team building exercises designed to enhance communication and collaboration. Invite Japan offers activities such as a ninja race and scavenger hunt, which are both fun and effective for team cohesion. To be fair, with only 2 games left, it might be a little bit too late for team cohesion now, Klopp, but we'll see what happens here at the team building place with Invite Japan. Here's their website, puzzle solving. I think we actually got a bit more info before than this website, but you can see there they do mystery solving year-end parties. So to be fair, it's quite good timing with this being our second to last game of the season, and hopefully we can pick up the J1 League title. But yeah, apparently we are now in an age when drinking alcohol is no longer considered a year-end party. I'm from New Zealand. That is definitely not what's happening down here. But anyway, that's what's going on in terms of Japan with the year-end parties. We're going to go over there and do the, what was it, a ninja race and a scavenger hunt. Definitely a little bit more clean over there by the looks of it. Second up, we're going to explore the Yokohama Chinatown, visiting one of the largest Chinatowns in the world, offering a vibrant mix of shops, restaurants, and cultural sites. Excellent opportunity for the team to experience diverse cuisines and immerse themselves in a unique cultural atmosphere. To be fair, this just sounds like it's the food part of our trip to Yokohama. Chinatowns, to be fair, are quite similar all around the world. Even that entrance there kind of reminds me of the Melbourne one. But anyway, let's go down a bit further. I mean, it's a Chinatown, so there's food, there's all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a Chinatown, so we'll grab a feed there and just see what's around there in the Yokohama Chinatown. Before I think the actual highlight of this trip, we're going to visit the Cup Noodle Museum. I mean, who doesn't love a good old cup of noodles, discover the history of instant noodles, and engage in interactive exhibits about cup noodles? This is certainly a find here from the KloppBot. The team can even create their own personalised cup noodles, making it a fun and educational experience. We've got a double up here on the food. We can make our own flavours by the sounds of it. So this does sound quite interesting. And here's the website for the Yokohama one. There are two over there in Japan. And look at all the stuff they've got. There's a chicken ramen factory. There's a My Cup Noodle factory. You've got Cup Noodles Park, which God knows what's going on there. A huge athletic facility with a virtual experience of being a noodle, and a factory. That actually sounds like it could be somewhat interesting, even though it sounds completely mad. Going down further, there's the history cube, there's a feeder, there's a worksheet going down as well, creative thinking boxes, a story time thing, Noodles Bazaar, the World Noodles Road, so maybe that's where you get some different flavors of noodles from all around the world. There's a museum shop, and of course, you've got the marble coaster, a window display where 4,000 marbles slide along a course that is made to look like a factory, so enjoy the speed of the sliding marbles and the numerous gizmos along the course for the cup noodle marble coaster. That sounds like there's all sorts of interesting stuff there. That might be the best find so far on one of the KloppBot's hotspots. That's what we're going to do here in Yokohama, hopefully before picking up the J1 title with a win over the Marinos. And off the back of that trip to Chinatown and the Noodle Factory, here we are for this game where we can clinch the J1 title. There are Yokohama F Marinos. They're also going with a 4-2 3-1 in terms of us ran through it earlier. Tanabe comes in for Matsumoto, but apart from that, same team that picked up the 3-0 winner over Gambo Osaka. 3 points here, and we secure the J1 title with a game in hand. And it doesn't take too long for the first highlight of this game, just 10 minutes in here. It looks like you're on the front foot so far, having had all the shots in this game. A long-range effort, that one. I think that was Kinoshita, but unfortunately, goalkeeper gets down to that one as we were looking for the bottom right corner. But a chance for us here from set piece. Lee Hyun-ju should have picked up hat-trick in the previous game. Unfortunately, can't find someone there at the near post, but the highlight continues. We keep the ball here pretty much inside of the final third. I say that we go back there to Figueiredo, and Tanabe switches out now to the left-hand side. Dimas, nice ball over the top there. Looking, but Lee Hyun-ju can't find him. They try and clear it away, but Figueiredo gets us back on the attacking Yokotomo. He will find him here down our right-hand side. We played it when the Yokotomo squares it for Amuzu. A deflected shot and then a big save that from the goalkeeper. I say we've only made one change for this game. Yokotomo actually is starting over Yamato. Not too sure how I forgot about that one, but he's had some early impact. We've got a corner. Unfortunately, nothing doing off the back of that one. We're on the front foot early, but still scoreless. And in fact, now there's a free kick here for Yokohama, looking for the top right corner from just outside of the box. But thankfully, Tagawa there comes up with a big save. We've encouraged just before that highlight does start. So it does mean the corner that gets cut out. Still scoreless, 20 minutes in. And just make our way into the last couple of minutes of the first half, and we've definitely been on the front foot, albeit this game a bit closer than that game by Osaka one. Unfortunately, still scoreless here at halftime, to be fair. Not too sure how with that XG, but to be fair, I say that just above that shots on target with only a 3. The other 2, so definitely not as efficient as we should be, but everyone out there doing an okay job, so we'll tell them not doing bad, but definitely can do better, because currently wouldn't actually be sealing the title with this result, still locked up at 0-0. And coming to the hour mark now, I think it's time for us here to make a couple of changes. A few players out there on some poor ratings, and also Fernandez has just picked up a yellow card. Suzuki can come on at left wing, Kabayama for Amuzu, and also let's take off Tanabe on that 6.4 for Urakami. He'll get some real game time this season. He's definitely dropped down the pecking order late on since we've switched Tanabe to a centre-back, but unfortunately, this one's still locked up at 0-0 with just under a half hour left. And only a few minutes on from those previous subs, now it's time for our next one, because Saito's gone down to a Red Heart. Ohashi on the bench today can come on for him. 24 minutes left, still looking for a winner to seal that J1 title. And just about into the last 20 minutes now of this game, it's time for us to make our final sub. Figueiredo's gone down to a Red Heart, so Nishikubo can come on at right back, but unfortunately, this game not up to a heck of a lot, especially in the second half. There's been no highlights at all, so we're still locked up at 0-0. Now I say that, a free kick here to Yokohama. Thankfully, we can scramble it away. A good chance here for Kabayama, just going on the counter attack. He makes his way forward, now getting just outside of the box, pulls it back to Yokotomo, looking there for Kinoshita at the far post. We get it back though, Dimas plays it all the way back there, the corner now out to Suzuki. Dimas there, loose touch to a chance here for Yokohama to hit us on the counter attack. Jan Mateus makes his way forward there down the right hand side. Can he find a teammate? Kolki to Fuku. Now Watanabe in a little bit of space, and unfortunately puts that one past Tagawa. We seg off him just a little bit, and Yokohama take a 1-0 lead, and maybe it's going to go down to a final day derby for us to try and secure the J1 title. Good work there for Mohashi, but unfortunately, then Watanabe finds himself in a ton of space, can bury that one bottom right corner past Tagawa, and we go 1-0 down to the beef here. That slightly wasteful finishing we've had so far in this game does now prove costly. It's about to make our way to the last 5 minutes of this game and make it last 2 minutes. I think it's time for us here to throw the kitchen sink, because obviously need a win to secure the title, and obviously a point as well would be quite useful if we can get it. So let's put here both our wing backs on attack as well as the advanced playmaker. Go attacking and just be a bit more expressive, distribute quickly, and to the fullbacks as well. Let's see if those changes that were done in previous series pay off here. A late corner, we put it far coast. Urakami gets on the end of it. Nishikawa with a horrible error in goal. That makes it 1-1. And I've just spotted there FC Tokyo 3-0 over Kawasaki Frontale. So this could actually be a result which sees us potentially pick up the title. Off the back of that, let's just turn off all that stuff that we just did. Not too sure if we want to time waste, because going for a winner would still secure the title. So we'll sort of just go back to how we normally play here with these Red Squirrels. That's a big late goal that from Urakami of all players, someone who's a little game time of late, especially in the first team. To be fair, over in Japan, the reserve league is quite active, so that definitely helps our squad players keep fit. But that's a shocker there from Nishikawa, comes out to punch it clear, doesn't get there, and Urakami can put it away into an open net. So that makes it 1-1. It's definitely the least we deserve from this game. We pick up a draw, but for now, that's not quite enough for us to pick up the title, because obviously we needed a win, especially with some teams playing the day after this game, especially the likes of Consadole Sapporo. So still not quite wrapped up. We still might need to come back for the derby on the final day of the season, but it will mean just the draw in that game will be enough for us to pick up a win. No idea there what's happened on that little graph there with the goal that Yokohama scored, because it's disappeared, but thankfully Urakami equalised very late on. Didn't play well, but I think we'll be happy with that result. Keep the guys happy just in case we need a big result on the final match day. Let's now see what happened to Kawasaki Frontale, because they were getting thumped there by FC Tokyo. It's a 3-0 defeat, so they're now gone from the title race. The only team that can go above us now, you'd think, Consadole Sapporo, considering Avispa Fukuoka, they can only reach 80 points that we've got, and our goal differential is about 40 goals better. So really, Consadole Sapporo, they need to win on the Sunday, otherwise we should be the champions of the J1. And just before we go forward and see what happens on the Sunday there with Consadole Sapporo needing to pick up a win to keep the title race alive, we have now officially qualified for the AFC Champions League for next season. To be fair, I thought we'd already done that a couple of games ago, but it does mean we've got the transfer budget for next season here at the club. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed by it. It's 13.8 million. We still have 11 million left over from last season, so I'm not too happy with that one. Only a very slight increase. Maybe it gets bumped up if we go on to win the J1, but unfortunately, not too much of a boost there, albeit the wage budget, that's quite healthy, going up to 185k a week. There you can see that does mean we've got about 65k a week spare, so definitely can do some good damage with that over in Japan, because so far, really, our biggest transfers have been just under that £1 million mark, so really, that's a pretty handy transfer budget for over here, but unfortunately, it hasn't been boosted up by too much. Not too sure if we can bring in the type of foreigners that might help us in our first season in the AFC Champions League, but now we'll go forward and see if Consadole can pick up a win when they need to get that title race alive. And we've gone forward today, and I'm pretty sure now we're the unofficial champions of Japan if Avispa Fukuoka pick up a win over in the Nagoya Grampus. But as I said, that goal differential, I think, rules them out of things. But Consadole Sapporo, they blow it late. They get beaten there 2-1 by Vissel Kobe. So that means already the three teams at the bottom, they're now automatically relegated. But Vissel Kobe, one of the preseason favourites who are having an absolute shocker of a season, they there probably steal us a J1 title. Nothing coming through the inbox just yet, because I think Avispa Fukuoka technically could go above us if we lose the derby by 30 goals. But let's be real, that's probably not going to happen. So I think now, unofficially, the champions of Japan. So I'll just go forward, play that derby, which should include our trophy lift, considering that it hasn't been confirmed just yet, so I think we're the champions. I'm just going to play most of the game against Urawa off camera to make sure that indeed we lift that J1. And just now into injury time here in our final game of the season, the result doesn't matter too much considering the goal differential. Thankfully, it's not the case anyway because we've been rubbish so far in this game. A late goal here to Lee Hyun-ju to make it 2-1, but currently losing a derby to end the season. So thankfully, Urakami did pick up that goal because of this Fukuoka 2-1 in front. If this was the case and Urakami didn't score that goal, we'd be bottling the title. So thankfully, that late goal against Yokohama F. Marinos actually might have meant something. And late on, another highlight here, we have gone full attack like we did late on in that Yokohama game, because why the heck not? Hopefully, we can pick up at least a draw here to make sure we actually win the title outright on points, not just on goal differential. But we are getting some chances here late on, so maybe a late fight back from us here. We play the ball out to Kabiyama down our left-hand side, squares that one, but unfortunately gets cleared away there by the Red Diamonds. This would be a really disappointing end of the season because they're all the way down in 15th, so they definitely haven't had a good season. But as I say that, Figueiredo plays it for Dejun, who stays on side. 2 late goals there in injury time. Off the back of that, let's just go back to positive because I'm quite happy with a draw considering how this game's been for most of the 90 minutes. Will be more disciplined and start time wasting as well. You can see there the changes I've made to our usual 4-2-3-1 here with the Red Squirrels. For this game, let's pull back those players who are on attack like we did late in that previous game against the Marinos. But thankfully, 2 very late goals there to Lee Hyun-ju and to Yang Junchu Shia. That will be the goal to make sure we should actually lift the title because we have more points than our opposition, not just because our goal differential is ridiculously good looking. But thankfully, Figueiredo plays that one for Dejun, who puts it away, and before that, Lee Hyun-ju scored off the back of a bit of sloppy play. Let's see if there's any more highlights late on in this game. There's not. Don't ask me how we were losing that game either. Getting pretty hardly FM'd up until late on, but thankfully going a bit more attacking. It has paid off, to be fair. I don't think it would have changed what was happening with this highlight right now because that goal differential, I think we were going to be sweet as anyway with it being so much in our favour. But thankfully, we don't lose in the final game of the season. We actually pick up the title based on our overall points this season, not just the goal differential, but there it is. We lift the J1 and only our second season here with Omiya Ardija off the back of a very late comeback to a draw in the derby. And here's what the inbox looks like off the back of that comeback draw, which you guys didn't see too much of, but to be fair, it was pretty rubbish up until those last couple of goals that we did score. You can see the pivotal match apparently, that 7-0 thrashing of JF United Chiba, our key player, Evan Dimas. To be fair, he still looks like one of our weakest options in terms of star ratings in our squad, but seriously, he popped up with a lot of useful goals this season. He scored 7 more than last year and also picked up 4 more assists. So definitely a really good first season in the J1 there for our captain, the Indonesian international at 31 years old, proving he can definitely do a good job in the J1. Going up further, we lift it technically on the final day, but goal differential, we'll see it shortly. I think we were pretty safe anyway with it being on plus 64. We enter the Japanese Hall of Fame, which is certainly interesting for a bloke from New Zealand in game. The fans are ecstatic, as you'd expect considering those preseason odds of 300-1. The board love us. Okai's praising us, which is quite nice for someone who didn't get too much game time considering Lee Hyun-ju came to the squad this season. 1.62 million, becoming first in the J1, so to be fair, don't think they'll actually help us out too much in terms of a potential boost to our transfer budget, and we spend 1.3 million of that. So yeah, that's not going to help us out too much in terms of our finances here at the club. We get crowned the champions. There's the goal differential. We were always safe even with a loss in that final game, but thankfully we scored late goals in both that game as well as that one earlier against Yokohama with Marinos thanks to Urakami. And I think that's all that's popping up now in the inbox. So thankfully, we do the J1, but made it a little bit tougher than we needed to, only getting home by a single point. And going forward to the 4th of December, and some awards have come through now for the J1 season. You can see there Lee Hyun-ju picks up the individual fair playable with absolutely no yellows or red cards. He beats out one of our former players, of course, and Seira Nakano, who these days is over at Nagoya Grampus. He didn't last too long at Albrechts Nagata. Only played 6 games before they sold him for a massive loss. That was quite good transfer business from us there, doing a lot better, actually getting a chance there at Nagoya Grampus. So Sayo comes runner-up there to Lee Hyun-ju. Kinoshita, top goal scorer with 24 and 34. The best young player goes to Valet Kanade. Of course, missed those last couple of games through injury, but did pretty well prior with a 6.88 average rank. To be fair though, only 2 assists. That's actually a little bit disappointing, truth be told, but he's done a great job since coming in late last season. We, of course, pick up Manager of the Year because we were definitely not supposed to win the title, being one of the rank outsiders. And the overall best 11, we've got Higashi in goal, which is a very interesting decision, but to be fair, most of his blushes did come in the cup competition. Saito in midfield, Lee Hyun-ju in behind Kinoshita up front as well, and Fuki Yamada and Evan Dimas, they are on the bench. And I think that might be actually where we need to end things for today's episode, because I've just noticed if we actually made that Emperor's Cup final, let's find a team who made it that far. I think it's Avispa Fukuoka who are that far. We'll just go over and check in on the team itself and their schedule. It's at a pretty weird time. It's the 1st of January, so I think I'm waiting until then for the end of season review. And by that stage, we probably need to check in with the KloppBot and see if we're going to actually be staying here at Omiya Ardija or going somewhere else, just in case he sends us to Europe for some reason and we get stuck into that European mid-season transfer window. So if you enjoyed today's episode, wrapping up the J1 title there, just getting home by 1 point, but to be fair, the goal differential always in our favour. But if you enjoyed today's episode, then do make sure to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. We'll come back tomorrow, do the KloppBot's review of the Red Bull group, just in case he takes us away from the Red Squirrels before our first season in the Champions League. So if you have a look at Kawasaki Frontale, you'll see that Asian Champions League didn't actually start until quite late on the season, all the way in mid-September. So really, it'll be a pretty similar season to this season until late on when the Champions League does start. And even then, it wouldn't finish until 2027. So we'll see what the KloppBot does with us here with the Red Squirrels off the back, picking up back-to-back league titles as well as that J-League Cup this season. So we'll do the review and see if he sends us somewhere else elsewhere. We'll make our way through the preseason here and run through the transfers with that 13.8 million transfer budget. So until tomorrow, for something involving the save, not too sure what, depending on what mood the KloppBot's in. Thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.